on conflict resolution and emotional intelligence. And it talks about just that. Understand. As a matter of fact, I have my own definition for emotional intelligence. And it's emotional intelligence is your ability to recognize and understand emotions in yourself and others, and your ability to use this information and use this awareness to manage your behavior and form quality relationships.
So emotional intelligence is not emotional ignorance.
Correct.
Okay.
Because that means you got to be able to understand, what your triggers are, and also how you land on people. To your point,
Right.
what you were just saying, and so understanding how you landed on people and accepting that fact. Because a lot of people are going to say what they're going to say. They'll tell you, I don't care,
Right.
how they feel. They can't handle my leadership. They can't handle. I'm just a strong individual. They can't handle me.
Right.
I mean,
I'm gonna be right at the cost
I'm
of
gonna
this
be right. Hey, this
relationship.
is a one-way conversation. I had, I let me tell you something. I used to manage like that till I got corrected. It was my way or the highway. We got a president like that. I didn't mean to get sidetracked. Let me get back on track.
Okay.
So, compromise, we have to understand that it's okay to let the other person win as long as it doesn't compromise your values. And by listening to that and by accepting their other point of view, it makes you diverse in perspective. Which we have to have diversity in perspective because it keeps us from being ignorant. It allows me to listen to Jesse's point of view and be okay with if it's different than mine. And we can have a productive and sometimes candid conversation, but I'm still aware of how he feels.
Right, and then you can take like what they say, chew up the meat and spit out the bones if you want to.
Right, but it all starts with you being in the right space, and that'll segue over to.
It segues really well. See, the next C in the 4 C's of leadership, we start off with candor. And Pastor Cedric Raphael just broke that down so well. And then we look at, because I'm smiling because this is like we ever just have, you knew you were going to have something really good. Because you guys set me up so well. And then we talk about the compromise, the allowing the other person to win. But it takes courage to have candor. It takes courage to have compromise. And the 4th C, which is contentment, it takes courage to be content. Because see, the average person will allow themselves to get caught up in the verisimilitude of life, and they'll find themselves not having the proper perspective because they're saying, I'm afraid, or I'm unwilling, I'm not courageous enough to put myself out there and allow myself to speak truth to power, or to receive truth from power, which brings us into compromise. But courageousness, it's from the inside, that you have an interior knowing, an interior perspective that you can look on the outside. You see, when you look at inspiration, it comes from the inside out. Motivation comes from the outside in. And so, just like courage is something that comes from the inside, but it can be buttressed, it can be shored up from the outside. And so courageousness looks at all of the aspects of leadership. And then you have to have the courage to stand up and to stand out and to face situations, circumstances, and be able to speak and open yourself up to the possibility of someone else being right and you possibly being wrong. And you have the emotional courage, the emotional intelligence to accept that and not be so entrenched in your ignorance that you can't grow and be able to flow to another level of growth. Y'all better stop me.
Come on. into that movement, so that this last C is a contentment. And I wanted to put on here is that this is not you being content to be still in your situation, but it's your attitude while you go through your situation. We don't want you to be content and not grow and not evolve, but it is what God says to say, be joyful while you go through it. Joyful other than being happy, because one of the things as a pastor that I absolutely hate to hear is that I feel like, Pastor, I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to get out, please. Because being happy is really contingent on what's happening. I'm happy because of what's happening. Joy is saying regardless of what's happening, I'm in a space, this is my mode of operation. This is my contentment. And so what we want to make sure is that stop being so emotional. Christ, we develop disciplines, right? And then we're supposed to be disciples which follow a set of disciplines. In that, we're saying that I'm gonna be joyful through it. I'm gonna see God in every situation. And that's what we gotta stand on and stop being so emotional.
Well, happiness is a sugar rush. So contentment is what leads to fulfillment, and that's being able to look in the mirror and say, you know what, if everything in it today, it's all good.
Right.
I'm happy with myself. I'm enough. I'm really good with who I am. See, only in the United States is where when people hear contentment, they think it means to settle for something.
Right.
When you interpret and translate contentment, it really breaks down into peace.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're gonna leave it there.
Yes.
And John, I'll let you wrap it up.
John Gray. Mr. Gray, thank you. Right? Ed Gray. I'm talking about John Gray. Boy,
I thought we were going to
yeah, that's how we're going to talk about that.
Ed Gray.
Ed Gray, thank you for giving us this platform to be able to share these ideas and be able to share the National Men's Prayer Call. And hey, every Tuesday and Thursday morning, give me that number. We want to invite men to get on this call. We've got Facebook Live. We're in a position where now we have the number to call in is 929-205-6099, and the ID is 117-581-440. Every Tuesday and Thursday morning at 7 o'clock. We're going to get on, we're going to take your prayer requests. We got a gentleman that will pray for you, and believe me, when we pray, we expect results. So therefore, we have an opportunity for you to share your praise reports, and then we bring in a powerful speaker. On Tuesdays, it's a spiritual message. On Thursdays, it's a personal growth message. It's our Thursday life class. So
30 minutes in the morning that will impact your entire 24 hours.
24 hours. Okay, so with that being said, thank you, Ed, for this time.
Commish.
And look here, there's so many. We want to thank thank Thibodeau's for Thibodeau's Cajun Cooking for bringing us for sponsoring the show. We want to thank you for coming on.
Don't forget Jesse.
Oh, we definitely we can't forget Jessica. Jessica made us all look good. You all look marvelous. Thank you. Have an awesome day, and remember. What do we want them to remember, Benny?
Make your life work.
Make your life work.
Be blessed, y'all.
If you're ready for some home-style cooking, some real Cajun food, you need to visit Thibodeau's Cajun Cooking, 107 North Cedar Ridge in Duncanville, Texas.
We got to go.
Oh, yeah.
You ain't got to go home, but you got to get up out